What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric Hobbs.
And I'm David Woldingen.
And this is Under the Arch Sports. We're here today to talk to you about Kansas and Missouri, the border war, the Hy-Vee hoops border showdown, whatever you want to call it. Kansas and Missouri playing each other in basketball, Mizzou Arena on Saturday. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, UTA Toy Drive still going on. Link is in the description below. Please help us out there. We are looking to get Christmas gifts for kids in the St. Louis area who may not otherwise have them. So help us out there, guys. Now, David, the border war's back, and second year it's back, really. But last year, we did the preview video, this same thing we're doing now, but our hearts weren't in it. We knew Mizzou was going to lose by 30 points, and it was going to be basically the score Bill Self wanted it to be, and that's exactly how the game played out. This year, there's hope.
Yeah, we have a new coach, a new team other than Kobe, Caleb, and DeGray. And on top of it all, they're competing. Now, Mizzou's 9-0. They're the number one scoring offense in the NCAA right now. Granted, all the teams they played, besides Wichita State, are below 200, if you will. So, I mean, cupcake teams, if you will. But don't underestimate the fact that they've had 9 games now to gel together with this new team, and the offense has been successful in every single one of those games.
Yeah, the 9 games to start the season being as easy as possible, that was intentional. That was Gates knowing that he needed to figure out what he had with this team, get these guys used to playing with each other. Like you said, almost an entirely new roster. So that was just smart scheduling, getting his guys ready for really the core of this season, which starts with this KU game. The competition ramps up starting now. Now, David, Kansas, they're number 6 in the country. They've only got one loss. They're 8-1. Their loss was in the Battle for Atlantis, so neutral court. They only scored 50 against Tennessee, which I thought was kind of odd. But they beat Wisconsin on a dramatic buzzer-beating layup. They got pushed by NC State, and then they did beat Duke, who was ranked 7th at the time. Duke's about 20th or whatever they are now. So
like that.
This lost a little bit of luster, but it's still a good win, neutral court. They're a good team. And you know what? It's a good thing that Missouri has the offense that they do. As you said, 93 points per game. And it's so much more fun to watch this team. Aesthetically, it is a pleasing brand of basketball to watch. So what do you think Missouri's going to do to attack this Kansas team?
Well, they're going to try to stick with their strong suit, and a lot of that's transition points. They're very good with their hands and causing deflections and steals. They average something like 10 a game, and they force a lot of turnovers. And because of that, they can get those quick transition baskets down the court. They're always moving towards the offensive end, even when the other team scores. So I expect them just basically to do a run and gun if they can. In this sense, this game might be a good matchup for them just because Mizzou's on the smaller side with the wingspan and just guard size and everything. Kansas isn't real big either. And because of that, Mizzou will be able to move a little more freely. They don't have to worry about long reaches, long wingspan, and I think it will benefit them in the speed of the game.
Yeah, Kansas, they're starting 5. They don't have anybody taller than 6'8", and both their forwards are listed at 225. So there may be an opportunity for Kobe to just kind of establish himself a little bit more like a traditional post. That's not necessarily his game, but my point is he's bigger for once. He is going to be the biggest dude, same height, but he's got the muscle on him. So I think that's an opportunity. It's also an opportunity for Aiden Shaw to potentially go nuts rebounding the basketball.
Yeah, and rebounding has been a weakness for this team. So there's going to be huge important factor, if you will, on getting that ball, not only offensively for offensive rebounds, but limiting Kansas to one shot and getting down the court. That's going to be huge for trying to get ahead of them if you can.
Yeah, Missouri a little better offensive rebounding than they are defensive rebounding, which kind of peculiar. There might be reasons for that, but they're not that good at rebounding the basketball overall. This is a rare game where a size disadvantage isn't necessarily as pronounced. So Missouri has to be at least close rebounding the ball. This Kansas team, David, they're led by Jalen Wilson, and dude's legit, averaging just shy of 22 points a game, 9.3 boards a game, almost double-double a game there. And he's the guy that Kansas is going to look to if they need a bucket.
Yeah, especially as a forward, he's very versatile. He can move around the court. My guess is he'll be matched up with Kobe a lot, and then I wouldn't be surprised if Aiden Shaw gets matched up with him too. Aiden's a bit of a smaller forward and can move around a lot easier, if you will, and his defense has been improving as the season has gone on already, and he's already been making his presence known on the court. So it'll be an interesting matchup between the two. The challenge would be, because Jalen is such an offensive player, to avoid committing blocking fouls, if you will, and knowing who we're playing, the whistles are going to be real tight, would be my guess. So both Kobe and Aiden are going to have to be really careful on committing those fouls.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be absolutely crucial, just because of the complete lack of depth behind those two down low. Also for Kansas, Columbia, Missouri native, DeJuan Harris. He's been hearing it from the Antlers all week on Twitter, David, bringing up academics and all sorts of other nonsense. He's going to hear it from 15,000 other people on Saturday. So I'll be curious to see how he performs, given that there's going to be a lot of venom kind of spit his way.
Yeah, it's an atmosphere, definitely. I'm not sure either team is going to be prepared for, and whoever can adjust to it quicker will probably you'll probably see a gap in the game until both sides settle down. It's going to be fun to watch, though. And with Harris, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off, honestly, with the 3-point shooting, just because our 3-point defense isn't that great at Mizzou. Throughout the 9 games, they've given up a lot of threes to a lot of teams. So on top of him, you have Grady Dick, who's a really good 3-point shooter for Kansas, averaging 45%. So I would like to see DeGray get in there and stick on Grady, because DeGray's defense, I think, would be decent enough to maybe limit his opportunities.
Maybe go million, get him in there if you need to.
Yeah.
See, Grady Dick is a bit of a nightmare to match up, just because while he's not necessarily going to try and do a whole lot down low, he is 6'8". So the freshman, he can just shoot it right over some of these shorter guards, right? And that's a big problem when you're talking about a guy making nearly half of his threes and facing Missouri's 3-point defense. Whatever they've got going on, they've got to either get better at switching, calling it out quicker, or just reacting quicker, or they've got to start trying to fight through screens and get more effective doing that. This 3-point defense is going to kill Missouri as we get into the more challenging part of the schedule. Now, David, it's time for predictions here. And for any of you guys who watch our videos, you know that when we do previews and predictions, we try to be as objective as possible when predicting the outcome. Did you guys really think we were going to pick Kansas to win this game? Come on. I personally expect that when the line comes out, that Kansas, I think, will be about a 3-point favorite. I know, David, you said you expect it to be about 7 for KU.
Yeah, I gotta think it's 7 just because we haven't played anybody.
Yeah, and you know, we'll see. Somewhere in there. Not happening. Missouri is going to outscore Kansas, and they're going to win 89-80.
Yeah, and I'm calling a closer game. However, I agree with you. I think Missouri is going to maintain their average scoring for the season. I think they're going to get 93, and Kansas is going to get 91. It's going to be a 2-point game, and then I think Sean East is going to have a huge impact down the stretch with his ball handling skills, and I think he's going to surprise them with like a Zaire Taylor type shot.
Nice.
The teardrop.
Nice.
That's what I'm calling. All in all, though, it's going to be a fantastic atmosphere, fantastic game. Hopefully a competitive game. I'm looking forward to seeing what Mizzou can do against an actual team. Not saying the others weren't, but we're stepping up the competition, and it's a good chance to see what we really have on the court. Guys, the Border War's back. I expect a competitive game, fun atmosphere, and hopefully we come out with a win. Enjoy the ride. We got a competitive basketball team again, folks, and it's fun to watch.
Hey.
Anyway, that's all we have for Under the Arc Sports. Stay tuned because bowl season's coming up as well, and we'll have our preview for the game against Wake Forest. Until then, though, thank you for watching.